Warning, this episode contains adult language, mature situations, life lessons, notebooks filled with the wisdom of the universe, sexy women with conflicting personalities, crazy, embarrassing situations, and talented main characters who have a toilet fetish and exceptional skills. Listener discretion is advised. Episode 299 Life is Study. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Spiraken Manga Reviews, some podcasts and vague reviews about connected enhanced narratives. This is your host, Zan, saying konnichiwa, aloha, bonjourno, and what's up? Yes, we are back for another fun-filled episode of the Spiraken Manga Review, and more importantly than that, it is episode 299. Can you believe it? I'm so psyched. We have finally reached 300. We are just about to reach the amazing and wonderful episode 300, and more importantly, the 10-year anniversary. But I'm digressing. If you're joining us for the first time, welcome. Spiraken is a podcast that provides foreign reviews about connected enhanced narratives. Every episode, I will talk about one or two manga titles and tell you the pros and cons about it, how the art style is, the characters are, the overarching narrative, and if it's worth investing your time in or not. You guys agree with anything that I and my co-hosts say, but we try to be informative, educational, entertaining, and most of all, impartial. You can check out any of our earlier episodes at www.spiraken.com. That's Spiraken. We are on Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram, Apple Music, Spotify, Player.fm, Stitcher, YouTube, and several other social media sites, which you can check out if you just type in Spiraken at the search bar. Sorry about that. Brain kind of went fuzzy for a moment. But if you have any questions or comments or concerns, you can also email me, zan@spiraken.com. And if you follow me on those sites already, thank you very much. I appreciate it, and I am so excited. Thank you for following me on this great long journey. Don't worry, we're still going to keep going. No worries with that. But now that that's out of the way, let's get to the topic at hand, shall we? Because we're almost at episode 300. I am excited because there's a lot going on. So, if you remember for the last episode, I spun that one, not only the Wheel of Manga, and it dictated on to be reviewing a very interesting manga, one that is pretty infamous. It is a manga that was written by Tatsuya Egawa, the senpai of the creator of Oh My Goddess. Now, he created this manga back in 1992 through 1998 for Shueisha in Super Jump magazine. There are 10 volumes. There's an OVA series. There's a sequel series. And this is a Seinen adventure, sex comedy, crazy, weird show and manga that is based on probably the greatest character of all time in the manga universe. And who am I talking about? I am talking about Keitaro Oi, or as everyone knows him as, Golden Boy. Now, if you've never seen the Golden Boy OVA, it is insane, it is crazy, it is terrible. But it's so wonderful, and the manga is just as crazy. I'm surprised the manga was never released. I understand why it wasn't released, but I'm surprised no one ever picked it up just the same, even if you edited it. But I bet you're asking, what is the story of Golden Boy about? Well, it is the story of Kintaro Oi, a 25-year-old freeter. Now, what a freeter is a person who goes from town to town and takes various odd jobs. In every volume, in every chapter, Kintaro finds a new job that he's going to work at. And he is incompetent and terrible at it, but at the end of the chapter, he has shown that he is amazing and intelligent. Also, there are lots of women who are involved, who work at these jobs, and Kintaro ends up falling in love with them and doing hilarious things trying to get them interested in him or trying to woo them, and failing miserably. But at the end of the chapter, he ends up earning their heart and their love. But then he rides off into the sunset with his mantra, study, 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 because life is study. Because in the end, Kintaro Oi is the man who will one day save the world. And more crazy than that, Kintaro Oi is this character who is constantly searching for knowledge around the world, but he learns lots of different skills and he keeps adding to them. And he has this notebook that he carries with him, which is his notes of life, where he writes every single thing he learns. And this ends up coming back to help him throughout the series. From learning computer programming, housekeeping, teaching, culinary arts, studying, jujitsu, whatever. He demonstrates these skills at a method that is brilliant and insane, but also he's very dedicated to his craft. I mean, yes, he's a pervert and he does some very screwed up things involving toilets or misunderstanding things crazy, like thinking that C base, which is C++, is sex. And actually, when he's corrected on this, he writes down in his notebook, C base is not sex. Also, he puts other interesting things like the boss is an evil monster or the human head cannot turn 360 degrees. These are things that like a little kid would write in their notebook. And apparently, Egawa did this when he was a young man. He wrote in his notebooks, I really like to study. And then he wondered why schools forgot the true meaning of study, which is learning things that are stimulating and entertaining. And that is the focus of this manga. That Kintaro has fun and he studies and he learns new things. And yes, there's the concept of him hooking up with lots of women. Well, at first he doesn't really hook up with them, but he ends up wooing them and getting into them. And at first, it's a lot of every chapter there's a new woman and there's a new person he's interacting with. It's a new job. But over time, it starts going back to women from earlier in the series or this one girl who's interested in him. But the reason why she's interested in him is this whole overarching plot that involves his kohai from school. Because I forgot to mention that Kintaro is a dropout from Tokyo University. He dropped out of school the day before his graduation from Todai Law School. So he is brilliant. And his kohai, his younger student, was this guy who truly worships Kintaro, thinks he's a genius, but his motivation is he wants to rule the world and maybe destroy the world. And Kintaro will be there to rescue him. And this guy, his kohai, had an assistant who was sent there to stop Kintaro from attacking and not attacking, but destroying the plans of the kohai. The only problem is that the assistant fell in love with Kintaro and decided, you know what? For the last 4 years, I followed the kohai and I believe in what he does. But I've fallen in love with Kintaro, so I'm going to do this for the next 4 years. I am going to follow Kintaro's method and see which one's path proved more right. And she actually goes, buys a bicycle, just like Kintaro does. Kintaro doesn't drive, he has a bike, and she ends up riding across the town, becoming a freeter. So this is just a series of, not unfortunately, hilarious events that get very weird. And it's a surprisingly well-written erotic comedy that it's an essential series because the jokes are an extension of the character and the plot, but they fit this weird, deranged character who is really funny, and it's a lot of realistic elements. It's you think that he's just a weird, bumbling idiot, but he's a very nuanced character, and you sympathize with him, and it is so well done. Though, unfortunately, it was never released in the U.S. as a manga. The anime you can get a hold of. The manga never was, but I wish that someone like Kodansha would or Viz would pick it up because it is completely out there. And unfortunately, the manga, while it is very long lasting, there's 99 chapters, they never really do conclude it. It ends on a bit of a cliffhanger, even though there is a sequel series. So you don't know what happens to Kintaro Oi and if he does truly save the world. But we can hope that he's out there riding his bike, going from place to place, saying study, 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 and going to save the world. Now, with most comedies, you could talk about how crazy it is, and you just take the gags and the jokes. And that's why I'm going to try to not go too far into that, because there are some insane gags, including one involving his bicycle, himself, and a motorcycle going down a hill in a race, and him winning because of potential mechanical flaws. This manga has a lot of great gags to it, and also the drawings are very developed and well done. I mean, for the most part, the main focus of the art is the various scantily clad women who Kintaro interacts with, but you have the juxtaposition of these very realistic and, let's just be honest, they're borderline ecchi manga drawings with the sketches which are in Kintaro's book, which are drawn like a little kid draws them. Like it's things where you have these stick figures with their heads turned backwards, or notes about how to do computer programming, and him learning how to learn computers by teaching himself on a keyboard that he made out of cardboard, crazy things like that. It's a truly weird and crazy manga that I highly recommend. It's not action-packed. I mean, there are some action sequences, especially when Kentaro does show that he's actually an accomplished fighter. He just proves not to do it. He's another pacifist. And we've talked about a pacifist earlier with Vash from Trigun, where he didn't want to kill people because he believed it's not right to do. This is similar, where he just doesn't feel it's the right thing to use his martial arts because it sullies its essence. So, with that in mind, art style is great, characters are great, and the only bad thing is that it has a kind of bad conclusion, and it's not released in the US. So, as you can probably guess, I'm going to give Golden Boy a really, really, really fucking cool, because it is a really, really, really fucking cool manga. It's inventive, it's crazy, and it has a bit of an everyman appeal to it, and with charming characters and some great, crazy aspects that make it weird but enjoyable. And so many other people have enjoyed it, and if you have not seen the anime, check it out. But more importantly, the manga you can find through various means. Find it, research it. I guarantee you will love it. So now, with that in mind, usually at this point we get to that part you've all been waiting for, that one that only the Wheel of Manga. However, in this episode, doing something a little different. Going to a call of arms for now. I'd like people to send me on Twitter questions. Questions you'd like to ask me for the next episode, because for our 10-year anniversary, I'm going to do a little bit of a Q&A, and I've got a little bit of I'm going to take a little seniority moment and choose the manga that I'm going to review in the next episode, because usually I let Scully decide, and I spin it, and he will choose, but I'm going to choose for episode 300 something truly amazing. I'm going to leave it for that episode. So with that in mind, thank you guys for listening to this episode. This is your host, Zan. I'll catch you guys next time. I'm Gonzville. Read more manga. See you guys on our anniversary. Later.